there are 4 types of slopes as we travel from left to right. So you always read a graph left to right, bottom to top. So as we go from left to right, this slope is going, look here, this slope is going bottom to top, so it's going up, up. So when slopes go up or they're increasing, it has what type of slope?
Positive.
Positive.
Perfect.
Okay, here, when we go left to right, what's happening to my line? It's going down. So I know this slope's going to be negative. Is that making sense? Okay, here, this here isn't steep at all. It is a vertical line. Wait just a second. Please listen. If you were walking, does it take a whole lot of effort just to walk from?
Sometimes, if it's a really long distance.
You're overweight.
In general. No. Okay? So it takes 0 effort. So this line is 0 slope. Now, if I was trying to walk this line, could I walk this line as steep as it is? No. So that slope is undefined.
I thought it was unknown.
No, undefined. But instead, we're given 2 points on a line. Hayden. Okay. When this is the case, we implement another definition of slope. So we're going to use the formula. You have to know this, and you should have seen it before. It's if you're rising, what values on the graph do you use when you rise? You use y. So it's y2 minus y1. So it's the differences of the y's. Now those 2 and 1s are just subscripts, little numbers to say they're different x's or different y's. It's just saying you're not using the same number. And then on the bottom, if I started with y2, I have to use x2 minus x1. Okay, so on the bottom, if I start with the second ordered pair to find the rise, for the run, I have to use that same ordered pair. If I start with the first, then I have to start with the first on the bottom. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so let's find the slope of these 2 points. So I have 3, because here's a y, and here's a y. So 3 minus 1. Okay, does everybody understand? I'm taking the 2 y's, and I'm 3 minus 1. Are you sure you don't want to move over there where you can see better? Okay.
Well, you said 3.
3 minus 1. The difference of the y's. Since I started with 3, I have to start with 2 for the x. If I start with this point for my y, I have to go back. Yes?
Why do you do the second number on the right side first? Why would you do the second number on the left side first?
I'm going to show you in just a second. It doesn't matter. But what I'm saying right now is if I start with the 3, I have to start with the 2 because they go together. So I'm going to do 2 minus, what is the x in the other one? Negative 4. So I do 2, and be careful here because minus a negative equals a positive. Very good. That becomes a positive.
Wow.
All right. 3 minus 1 is 2. Why don't you move there? It's okay. Move so you can see. Now, please. 2 plus 4 is 6. What number will divide into 2 and 6? 2. So 2 are going to 2 one time. 2 are going to 6, 3. Remember how we simplify fractions by dividing by a common number? What can you not see?
It's all like jumping up right there.
Oh, it's not.
It's 3 minus 1 and then 2 minus negative 4. And a negative makes a positive.
I did it by quarter, not by
Excuse me?
Like, it said the, like, it gave the point, and I didn't do it in a fraction, I did it in like the ordered pair.
You can't. You have to do it the way I did it.
So I can't take 3 minus 1 and 2 minus negative 4 and then get 2, comma 6.
No, you may not. It's rise over run.
I did rise over run, just not in the paper, like,
No,
it's in my
you have to show your work. All right, so Ryan, you asked, what if I started with 1, right? Okay, so if you start with 1, you would do 1 minus 3, right? Because the difference of the y's, yes? So since I started with 1, this time I have to start with my x at negative 4. Does that make sense? Minus 2. So that gives me negative 2 over negative 6. Negative and a negative is a positive, and then so that'll still give me 1/3. So it does not matter which ordered pair you start with. Huh? I just chose it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It does not matter which one. But based on the formula, it's y2 minus y1, so 2 minus 1. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes. But does everybody understand it does not matter which ordered pair you start with. The key is if you start with the first ordered pair for the y, you have to start with that same ordered pair for the x. Okay. So let's look here. Before we go on, we're going to look at some fractions.
Okay.
If I have negative 3 divided by 9, what number will go into 3 and 9? 3. So what's a negative divided by a positive? A negative, and 3 are going to 3 1 time, and 3 are going to 9 3 times.
Oh.
Hayden, please stop pulling my number off, and please help me here. Whatever you're doing, pay attention to what we're doing. Okay, what number will go into 4 and 10?
5.
Will 5 go into 4?
2.
2. 2 are going to 4. 2 times. 2 are going to 10.
5.
5 times. Does that make sense?
That easy?
1 goes into 4.
What is 4 divided by 1?
4.
4. We're just trying to make sure you remember fraction rules.
Negative 7.
Negative 7 divided by 1 is
Negative 7.
negative 7. Okay, if I have a negative and a negative, what does that make?
Positive.
Positive, and then 2/3, there's nothing else that will go into 2 or 3. So that's just simplifying the two negatives. Okay, negative 1 and negative 8 makes a positive 1. No, positive 1 over 8. It's not 8 divided by 1. Okay, so don't get those mixed up. All right, what's a negative divided by a positive or a positive divided by negative here? Negative, and then 4 over 7. So if one part of the fraction is negative, the entire fraction is negative. All right, here would be negative 1/8. What is 0 divided by 12? 0. 0 divided by negative 2.
0.
Just 0. 0 is neither positive nor negative. All right, what's 12 divided by 0? No. No.
1.
12.
No.
What the heck?
It's 0.12.
No.
0 over 12. 0.
Okay, why don't we stop talking and think?
I ain't thinking. So much. It's a 0.
Okay, what's the number one rule you learned when you started dividing? You cannot divide by a 0. So the answer here is going to be undefined.
Oh, that's a potty word though.
It is a potty word in math.
Math.
Okay, negative 2 divided by 0, again, undefined.
Oh, wow.
Okay, any questions on simplifying those fractions?
How did you get negative 4 over 7?
Here? Because if one part's negative, either part of your fraction can be negative. That's what I was showing you there. Because what's a positive divided by negative? Negative. So either part could be negative. Okay, let's do one of these together. I'm going to let you do a couple by yourself. Yes.
How is 0 over 12 not undefined?
Because 0 can be divided by 12. What is 12 times 0? Okay, so that's the reason. When you divide by it, it's also that. Okay? All right, so here I have 2. If I start with 2 minus negative 1, right? The difference of our y's. 2 and negative 1 is the y's. They go on the top. Then what goes on the bottom?
2 and
What goes on the bottom?
negative 6 and 4.
Well, 6 isn't negative. So it'd be 6 minus
Why do you always use
One.
negatives
4. What do you mean?
in between, like 6 minus 4? Wow.
Because that's the formula. Look. Y minus y, x minus x. You always subtract. Okay? What is a negative and a minus a negative makes a
Nick.
positive. So that's 2 plus 1 gives me 2 plus 1, 3, and 6 minus 4, 2. So that means on this graph, I would rise 3 and run 2. Because we're going to be using that in a couple of days. Okay, I want you to try, please check, and then I'm going to number them real quick since they're not numbered, and then you can raise your hand, and I will go over any questions that you have on the number. So please check your work.